Well, good morning. Um, Jose and I were talking about why we agree that the city should ban smoking from all public places, including schools, parkings, lots, LAT, etc. Well, we have a few points that we want to discuss with all of you. The first one is the second-hand smoke. The second-hand smoke has serious negative health problems. These effects carry over into other people's life with a tangible and sometimes permanent impact. The second-hand smoke can cause headaches, breathing problems, and nausea for the people who don't smoke. So it is estimated that the second-hand smoke causes nearly 34,000 heart disease deaths each year in USA. Also, second-hand causes more than 7,300 lung cancer deaths among USA non-smoker each day. So another point is that third-hand smoke. This is a new concept. That third-hand smoke is residual nicotine on other chemicals left on indoor surface by tobacco smoke. People are exposed to these chemicals by touching contaminated surface, like places, clothes, etc. This residue posing a potential health hazard to non-smoker, especially for children. Third-hand smoke clings to clothes, furniture, walls, bedding, carpets, vehicles, and other surfaces long after the smoking has stopped. To remove this chemical, people need to clean regularly the place where people smoke. The infants and young children might have increased exposure to third-hand smoke due to their tendency to touch affected surface. So, like I said, the third-hand smoke is relatively a new concept, and researchers are still studying its possible dangers. In the meantime, the only way to protect non-smokers, especially kids, from third-hand smoke is to create a smoke-free environment. So that is the reason we agree to don't smoke in public places. The third point is the litter reduction. When people smoke, they don't dispose the waste of the cigarettes in the correct place. So we can see all over the place when they smoke the little cigarette butts. So if this waste is touched by animals, they can eat these cigarette butts. So they are in danger to die. So the cigarette butts can contaminate water as well. The toxic exposure can poison fish, as well other animals who eat the cigarette butts can die. So this is my part.
Okay. To add some initial points, when you talk about public, you talk about safety of people, you talk about how it's your responsibility to act accordingly with you and the environment around you. And if you smoke in public, you don't only affect you, but you affect those around you. So that's why banning smoking in public places is actually very crucial for the environment and for the health of the people around you. And also, as my partner mentioned before, the type of smokes you have there, it affects the buildings or even the smoking areas some places have, some locals have. Even though that smoke damages the structure, which will lead to infrastructure damages, which would cost more money to the state. So if they ban this type of activities, smoking, that would also be beneficial for the infrastructures of the city, of the public places. So when you speak about smoking in public, you speak about how you affect your whole environment.
No problem. All right. So, sorry about that. Stop. So, Ms. Carroll's gonna come up. I'm sorry. Let's stop the clock. All right. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and give Carol some confidence that she's coming up to the big thing. Yeah, did I say a little bit of that? Okay. All right. Yay! All right. Now they're gonna be arguing against a ban on smoking in public places. And anytime you want, Ms. Carroll, go right ahead.
Okay. We are against. We are for that the city should. No, I'm sorry. We are against.
No problem.
I'm very nervous. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We are against that the city should ban the public spaces for smokers. Basically, because the state have to recognize that we are individuals and we have rights in order to that individuality. Coercion is not a form, and unjustified controls are not forms that they can prevent, like the damage of health in the persons. They cannot limiting the rights of these persons. They have to prevent the autonomy of those who can and want to smoke. All of three of our group are smokers, and we feel that are like part of that minority. So this is a proper theme or topic for us, because we feel outsiders when someone try to like keep us away from the other person that probably have like also addictions that the current society promote, but they are not like so aesthetic. They don't have like a aesthetic I don't know how to say that, like aesthetic view that other addiction has, like alcohol, that is pretty like accepted by the persons. Okay, one of our points is like recognize that diversity, that even individuality. Public places are called like that because are public. They are not called like perfect places. Perfect places, or just for these persons exactly places. So they are public. They have to recognize those individualities. And our second point is like how the double morality leads those rules to make law, like ban these places. So we are clearly against this point because we are smokers and don't like this kind of treat for us. And also we don't have like a proper spaces to smoke, or maybe share times with our friends with good behaviors and good thinkings and good ideas, just for being smokers.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I give you some examples for why the city should not ban smoking in all public places. So, for example, society accepts that adults can decide to harm themselves to some extent, so long as they do not harm to others. So this is why the proposition is not arguing that people should be banned from smoking in private. So passive smokers do choose to breathe in other people's smoke or in another place, but if they don't want to smoke passively, they do not need to go to that places. So Another reason is that if enough people want to go to a non-smoking bar, companies will set up non-smoking bars so they can lose a loss of customers. So because when you want to go to a bar, something like that, a lot of people want to drink a beer and smoke a cigarette. So if the city ban the place of smoke, you can do that. So another reason that it is legal to smoke tobacco in the whole world, so the governments have no right to try to make people stop. So it is therefore wrong to argue that a ban on public smoking should be introduced to encourage people to give up. So smokers found their own healthcare through the high taxes that they have to pay. So if you ban the smoke places, the people will encourage to smoke more at home. So normally we have a family, we have children, we have kids, pets. So the children don't have a choice or don't have the enough age to decide that if they want to be a passively smoker or not. So another reason is a ban of smoking in a public place.
It's okay.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Un moment.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You'll have more time later.
So I don't know. It will be possible to police that this ban in many public places. So how they police do for what? Go to jail for smoke in a public place. I think that is not fair for the people. So I don't know. The people can choose if they want to go to a place that the people can smoke or not. So.
Okay, good job. Super. So now both teams have had their 7 minutes, initial 7 minutes of opening statements, and you'll have more time to bring up additional points if you wanted to later on. So now this time. This team over here is going to have 5 minutes for rebuttal. You can bring out additional points if you like, or just respond to in argument style to whatever the other side may have said. But you'll have 5 minutes to make a rebuttal. So either one of you or both of you, it's up to you. Okay? And it's on now, right? Okay.
So, well, continuing that. Respond to my to there, I will say that, as Carol said, we all have rights, but we have people who don't smoke has also the right to a healthy places. Even smoke outside of the workplace or a public place can affect the other people's. So people who don't smoke, we need to have the right to breathe clean air. And when people smoke, even outside of any building, this can affect our environment as well. So another point is that maybe we don't stop people from smoking. But maybe the city should create closed places to smokers. Well, Sonny told me the other day that I think it's in Japan, the government create spaces inside of the building, maybe in the bars, like Javier said. They can create a closed space, maybe a room where people can smoke. But because if they want to smoke, if they want hurt themselves, that Javier said, they can do it, but not affect other people's life. So that is my point.
Super. 3 more minutes. All right. Good.
Well, as I mentioned before, they say people have the right to do anything they deserve. But with that right comes a responsibility to be aware of your surroundings, and if you smoke in a public place, you would affect everyone around it. And as a secondhand smoker, when I was a baby, I can talk about personally how it affects when a baby gets that secondhand smoke. And if you ban this type of activity in any public place and just leave it to their own personal spaces, it would actually improve the health care of every other person, because a public activity involves all people around you, as I mentioned before. So smoking, which is it's been proved that it's not healthy at all, that would affect the health of the people around you. So that would be my case.
Okay, cool, super. All right. So now this team gets 5 minutes of rebuttal. Okay.
Okay. I want to make a point about Erika's what Erika said, and it's about like she said that we all deserve like a pure air, but what people don't fight with massive buying of cars and the air pollution that is caused by these things. This current world try to attack minorities, as I said before. They don't have like a real belief of a public care. They don't care about groups or who dies about this type of addiction. They care about their individuality. They want to have a private like space who is healthy, but how about the others? You know, like so many of the smokers want to quit or stop smoking, but they cannot. First, because they don't want to, and second, because they see in the exterior all the time the commercials and all related with tobacco, like commercials, you know, on television, on all of the posters or whatever, because this is a business, and the big companies take advantage of this. So this should be like a public problem that need to be like solved by preventing campaigns, educated campaigns, more in pro or for try to stop most smokers to start smoke, not ban or attack or limiting like the smokers that we already have. So this is a point that I want to make, because even though the smokers stop smoking, outside there is a dirty air that is contaminated by all the cars, all the companies that release all these smokes that are not proper from the cigarette. So why don't fight with them first that attack minorities? And second, that I want to point out is about the public care. That is I want to know to make to know that this is not a public care, that is more from individuality that persons speak, that they don't put in the shoes of others. So that's why I'm not on this point that we have to have like enclosed peoples to kill us and that's it, and all the person that have like better rights have to be alive. So we all imperfect like human beings. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Appreciate it. Cool. Is that it? Sounds good. All right. So now, at this point, The other team is going to have 2 minutes basically to summarize what you wanted to finish up. You don't have to bring up new points necessarily. You could just summarize what you've already mentioned before, and then after which we're going to have an opportunity to have some Q&A if you've got questions or challenges or something like that. I really want to get a fight going and get people upset. No, I'm just kidding. Either one of you can have a closing remarks. All right, anyway.
Well, basically, in conclusion, we have 3 points why smoking should be banned in the public places. The first one is because of the secondhand smoke, because this can lead to difficult health consequences. And the second one is for the third-hand smoke, is basically because the babies can have health problems. And the third one is because of the litter. So the water can contaminate and animals can die because of the waste of the cigarettes. So there are our 3 points.
All right, sounds good. All right, and you have 2 minutes for a closing remark, Mr. Javier. All right.
Okay, so in conclusion, I think that it's not a good option because do you know how much the people pay only in taxes? So the city can use that money for make a lot of things. So I think that we are not different than the people that don't smoke. So it's the same people, only that we have choose, or we have that things that is not a bad thing. So if I want to smoke, it's my decision. So if you don't want to smoke, you can choose and you can move, or you can go to a place that is not allowed the smoking. So I think that it's enough. Simple.
Good. Give me a hand. All right. Give me a hand. All right. Sounds good. So I gotta say, both teams again. Another great example of both teams being very well prepared. This is not off the top of their head. This reflects a lot of thoughtful, well organized opening remarks too. I gotta say, so interesting things that were brought up on this side. For example, about the third-hand smoke. Interesting, and I like how first of all, you pointed out how this is a new concept, so you were careful to distinguish this is cited research versus new, maybe not entirely proven research, and it brought up the issue of litter. And this is, and you all brought up an interesting dimension. You can make it really rather personal. Yeah, you feel like an oppressed minority, and etc. And it's like one of your main points you pointed out was that. People who are in favor of a ban of public smoking, you probably have an ulterior motive. I don't think you really care about public health. You just want, it's a personal preference issue. Otherwise, you'd be attacking companies and their pollution or something like that. So really, you're taking it to heart and personal. And also, both of y'all, interestingly enough, both sides introduced a proposal for sealed off public places with where people can smoke, etc. Which and this side proposed something to try to prevent people from smoking to begin with. Allocate all our resources to that, and leave the people who want to smoke alone. Stop picking on me. Anyway, I was surprised by those things that were brought up. That was always interesting. Hey, anybody want to push back or challenge or have a question for anybody here, or what kind of cigarette do you guys like? Which one do you recommend? Okay. Yeah. Does anybody want a question about either side? Necessarily. Okay. How about go ahead. You want to say something?
No.
No.
If anybody
Yeah. You can challenge the other side now. Conversational. You're looking at me side. You want to say something? You got it on the tip of your tongue, right? No.
I'm just thinking about her solution to say that we can open a closed space for smokers, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's not a good idea because when we smoking, I smoke. When I smoke, I don't want to be in a closed room. I want to be like outside where I can breathe pure air. And even when you smoke and there's smoke still inside and you're gonna like smell it again, it's not. I mean, I think it's like crazy. But I mean, the best idea for smoking, I think, is outdoor.
Too much smoke, man.
So
Put a bag in your head.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But it's a good solution though. But I just think like it's kind of crazy because
They do
you
what you
can't
can,
smoke
yeah.
indoor.
Apparently. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a good point. So probably you're skeptical that would work. Not a lot of people would probably.
I mean, personally, I'm not gonna smoke over there.
Yeah, I hear you saying. Yeah, that's why you have your car window down. You don't have your car window up when you're smoking,
No.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. Good point. Fair enough. Yeah. Hey, anybody else want to weigh in on this one? No, necessarily. Okay.
But again, if you're not willing to take your own smoke in the
Why other
closed
people?
area, why would you want other people to take it who are not willing to take it? You know what I mean?
But it's like if we do like conscientiously, you know, we are not trying to hurt you. Even us, we are not trying to hurt us. It's just an addiction, and you have to treat it like that. And we are not sitting next to you saying, "I'm going to kill her. I want to do it.
No,
This is
I-
so bad that I want to kill her." No, it's just I want to do it, and if it's I think it's even better if it's a open space.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I
because-
understand it's not, kind of an intentional or a deliberate kind of act, but still, directly or indirectly, it's affecting people.
Yeah, but
It
should,
is.
It should have another better ways to make free spaces or better spaces for smokers. No, make